Most people believe that success comes from big dramatic changes, overnight transformations that completely alter the course of their lives. But the truth is, real progress isn't about making one massive leap. It's about taking small, consistent steps forward. Small wins, repeated over time, create unstoppable momentum. Consider this: a single drop of water doesn't carve a canyon, but millions of drops over years will shape even the hardest rock. That's the power of persistence, the power of small wins. Every time you make a small improvement, no matter how insignificant it seems, you are reinforcing a pattern of success. And once you build that pattern, you become unstoppable. Take, for example, a person who wants to get in shape. If they decide to suddenly overhaul their entire lifestyle, go to the gym for 2 hours a day, cut out all unhealthy foods, and drink a gallon of water daily, they may last a few days before burning out. But if that same person simply commits to 5 push-ups today, 6 tomorrow, 7 the next day, before they know it, they've built the habit. The small win of showing up, of doing just a little more than yesterday, compounds into real, lasting change. The reason small wins work is because they create confidence. Every small victory tells your mind, I can do this. The moment you prove to yourself that progress is possible, your self-belief grows, and with every step forward, the next step becomes easier. A student who struggles with studying can begin with just 5 minutes a day. That small commitment, done consistently, turns into 10 minutes, then 30, then an unstoppable habit of learning. Small wins also build resilience. Life throws challenges at all of us. If success depended on making big leaps, setbacks would be devastating. But when progress is built on small wins, a setback is just a temporary pause. You don't have to start over. You simply continue from where you left off. Every great success story is a collection of small wins that stacked up over time. The best athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the greatest minds in history, none of them started at the top. They mastered the art of daily improvement, stacking one small win after another until they became exceptional. The challenge isn't whether you can make a big change. The challenge is whether you can commit to small, steady improvements, because that is where true transformation begins. Growth isn't linear, it's exponential. The effort you put in today doesn't just add up, it multiplies. Small improvements may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create an unstoppable force of momentum. This is the secret behind compounding growth. Think of a single penny. If you were given a choice between taking $1 million up front or a single penny that doubles in value every day for 30 days, most people would take the million. But the real magic lies in the doubling. That penny turns into 2 cents, then 4, then 8. It seems like nothing at first. By day 10, it's only $5, 12 cents. But by day 20, it's over $5,000. And by day 30, that small penny has grown into more than $5 million. That's the power of compounding. This same principle applies to your personal growth. When you improve yourself by just 1% each day, it doesn't feel like much at first. Reading 1 extra page, exercising for 1 extra minute, waking up 5 minutes earlier. These seem like small, almost laughable changes. But what happens when they compound? A year later, that 1% daily improvement makes you 37 times better than when you started. The difference is staggering. Most people fail because they expect immediate results. They go to the gym for a week, don't see major changes, and quit. They start a new skill, don't master it overnight, and give up. What they don't realize is that growth works like an ice cube melting. At 25 degrees, nothing happens. At 26, still nothing. The cube looks unchanged at 27, 28, 29 degrees. But at 32 degrees, suddenly everything shifts. The ice melts not because of that single degree, but because of all the heat that built up before it. That's exactly how compounding growth works. The key is patience. A tree doesn't grow 10 feet overnight, but every day beneath the surface, its roots are spreading deeper, drawing in nutrients, preparing for that visible transformation. Your growth is the same. Each book you read, each skill you sharpen, each disciplined action you take is an investment in your future self. The benefits may not show today, tomorrow, or even next week, but once the compounding effect takes hold, it becomes nearly impossible to stop. It's not about massive, immediate change. It's about steady, relentless progress. The smallest improvements, done consistently, create the biggest breakthroughs. Success doesn't happen by accident. It is built, brick by brick, through the habits you practice every single day. Your habits determine your destiny. Not your wishes, not your dreams, not even your motivation, because motivation fades, but habits stay. The real key to success, it's not about working harder for a day or two. It's about mastering the small, seemingly insignificant actions that shape your life over time. Everything you do on a daily basis is either moving you closer to success or further away from it. There is no standing still. If you wake up every morning and check your phone for 30 minutes, you're training your mind to be reactive rather than proactive. If you hit the snooze button every day, you're reinforcing procrastination before the day even starts. On the other hand, if you wake up and read 10 pages of a good book, you're reinforcing a habit of learning. If you exercise for just 10 minutes, you're creating the foundation for lifelong health. The reason habits are so powerful is that they work automatically. Once something becomes a habit, you no longer have to think about it, it just happens. Imagine how powerful it would be if success-oriented actions were things you did on autopilot. If working on your goals, staying disciplined, and making wise decisions were just part of who you are, rather than something you had to force yourself to do. That's what mastering your habits does. It turns effort into instinct. But here's the challenge. Bad habits work just as powerfully as good ones. They don't demand permission. They creep in, settle down, and make themselves comfortable. And the longer they stay, the harder they are to remove. That's why it's crucial to guard your daily actions like a fortress. Every single habit you allow into your life is either working for you or against you. Most people wait for inspiration to take action, but the truth is, action comes first, then inspiration follows. The moment you train yourself to take action, regardless of how you feel, you've won the battle. Small habits, when done consistently, turn into massive results. Success isn't about one big moment. It's about the small, daily choices that seem insignificant, but over time make all the difference. The question isn't whether you have habits. You do. The real question is, are your habits leading you to where you want to be? In life, there is no such thing as staying the same. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. Time doesn't stop, the world doesn't pause, and opportunities don't wait. The moment you choose to stand still, you begin to drift. Slowly at first, then all at once. And before you know it, you're further away from your goals than when you started. Think about water. Flowing water stays fresh, full of life, constantly renewing itself. But stagnant water, it becomes murky, attracts disease, and eventually turns toxic. The same happens in life. The moment you stop growing, you start decaying. Your skills weaken, your mind dulls, your potential fades. Most people don't fail because they tried and lost. They fail because they never started. They get comfortable, they settle, and they convince themselves that standing still is safe. But safety is an illusion. The world is moving forward, with or without you. Technology evolves, industries shift, people grow. And if you choose to remain where you are, what was once comfortable will eventually feel like a prison. Look at nature. Nothing remains the same. Trees either grow or wither, muscles either strengthen or shrink. A business either expands or collapses. Even relationships require movement. Either you're deepening your connection or you're drifting apart. Life is built on momentum, and the second you stop, inertia takes over, pulling you backward. Standing still leads to regret, because time moves forward no matter what, and years later you will look back and realize that nothing changed. Not because you couldn't, but because you didn't. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret, that lasts a lifetime. The real danger isn't failure. The real danger is choosing comfort over growth, because comfort feels good in the moment, but it steals your future. It keeps you stuck in jobs you don't like, relationships that drain you, and routines that lead nowhere. It whispers, just wait a little longer, while life passes you by. The truth is, progress doesn't require perfection. It only requires movement. Even the smallest step forward keeps you in the game. Even the smallest improvement keeps you alive. Because the moment you stop growing, you start dying. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant there, whatever you water, will grow. Plant seeds of wisdom, discipline, and positivity, and you will harvest a life of abundance. But if you allow weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity to take root, they will choke out every good thing before it has a chance to bloom. A garden doesn't grow by accident. It requires attention, care, and daily effort. If you neglect it, weeds will take over, not because you planted them, but because that's how nature works. The same is true for your mind. You don't have to invite fear, laziness, or distraction. They will show up on their own if you don't guard your thoughts. That's why you must be intentional about what you allow to grow in your mental soil. Every thought you entertain is a seed. A thought repeated becomes a belief. A belief turns into action, and action shapes your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that success is for other people, that life is unfair, those thoughts take root, and like weeds, they spread. They tangle around your confidence, your ambition, your ability to take action. But here's the good news. Just as you can uproot weeds from a garden, you can remove destructive thoughts from your mind. It starts with awareness, recognizing the thoughts that don't serve you. Then it requires replacing them with better seeds. Seeds of faith, seeds of discipline, seeds of possibility. Every time you choose to think a better thought, you're tending to your inner garden, strengthening your roots, and preparing for a harvest of success. And let's talk about the environment. A garden's growth depends on the soil, the sunlight, and the surroundings. If you plant a good seed in bad soil, it will struggle to survive. Your mind is the same way. If you surround yourself with negativity, people who complain, media that drains you, habits that weaken you, it will be harder to grow the life you want. But if you place yourself in the right environment, if you fill your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and discipline, growth becomes effortless. Growth doesn't happen overnight. A farmer doesn't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow, but they trust the process, knowing that with time the harvest will come. Your mind works the same way. Every thought you plant, every book you read, every positive habit you cultivate is a seed for your future. Success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do every single day. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the strongest leaders, all of them understand one thing. Talent is secondary, but consistency is everything. Think of water dripping onto a stone. One drop does nothing. 10 drops still show no effect. But let that water drip consistently, day after day, and eventually the stone wears down. The same happens in life. A single workout won't make you fit, but daily exercise will transform your body. Reading one book won't make you wise, but a habit of learning will change how you think. The discipline of consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Most people fail not because they lack the ability, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, full of motivation, but when results don't come fast enough, they quit. They go to the gym for a week, don't see major changes, and give up. They start a new project, hit a challenge, and stop. They expect instant success, but success doesn't work that way. Success is built in the quiet moments. When no one is watching, when the excitement fades, when the results aren't visible yet. The disciplined person understands this. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They push through when progress is slow. They stay committed, knowing that small efforts, compounded over time, lead to massive breakthroughs. Look at any area of life: health, business, relationships, personal growth. The people who thrive aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who stayed the course. The ones who did the small, disciplined actions every day, even when no one noticed. And here's the truth: consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. You will have bad days. You will miss a workout, make a mistake, feel unmotivated. But discipline means getting back on track immediately. Not next week, not next month, immediately. Because every time you restart, you reinforce the identity of someone who doesn't quit. Small actions, done repeatedly, create unstoppable momentum. The disciplined person understands that showing up daily, even with small efforts, beats massive effort that fades away. The question isn't whether you can be great. The question is whether you can stay consistent long enough to let greatness unfold. Excuses are the chains that keep you stuck in the same place. They sound reasonable, they feel justified, but in reality they are nothing more than a defense mechanism, a way to avoid discomfort, responsibility, and action. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve anything meaningful, the first thing you must do is eliminate excuses. People make excuses for three main reasons: fear, laziness, and lack of belief. Fear tells you, what if I fail? So you never try. Laziness whispers, I'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. Lack of belief convinces you that success is for others, not you. And so you stay stuck, watching opportunities pass by, convincing yourself that you had no choice. But you did. You always do. Look at any successful person, and you'll find one common trait. They refuse to make excuses. They take responsibility for their results, good or bad. They don't blame their past, their circumstances, or other people. They don't wait for the perfect time because they know that waiting is just another excuse in disguise. Think about this. There are people who have started with less than you, faced bigger obstacles than you, and still made it happen. So the question isn't, can it be done? The question is, will you do it? The truth is, excuses are comfortable. They protect your ego. They let you off the hook. But they also rob you of progress. Every time you say, I don't have time, what you really mean is, it's not a priority. Every time you say, I'm not ready, what you really mean is, I'm afraid to start. Excuses keep you in the illusion of effort without requiring action. Eliminating excuses starts with one simple decision. Own your life. No more blaming, no more waiting, no more avoiding. If you want something, go after it. If you fail, learn and try again. If it's hard, good. Because growth only comes through challenge. Excuses will always be available, but so will opportunities. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is whether you choose to feed your excuses or your commitment. Your environment is shaping you every single day, whether you realize it or not. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, the books you read, the content you consume, all of it is either pushing you forward or holding you back. Your success, your mindset, your habits, even your level of motivation are largely influenced by what and who you allow into your life. If you spend time around complainers, you will become a complainer. If you surround yourself with discipline-driven people, you will rise to their level. It's not about willpower, it's about exposure. Your mind absorbs what it is consistently fed. You cannot expect to live a life of growth while staying in an environment that breeds stagnation. Look at any successful person, and you'll see that they are intentional about their surroundings. They don't allow negativity to take root. They choose mentors, friends, and influences that challenge them, inspire them, and push them to be better, because they know that no matter how strong their personal discipline is, their environment will always have the final say. But it's not just people, it's also the physical and mental space you create. If your surroundings are cluttered, your mind will be cluttered. If you're constantly consuming negativity on social media, in the news, in your daily conversations, your thoughts will reflect that. If you expose yourself to excellence, to wisdom, to ideas that stretch your thinking, you will start to operate at a higher level. And here's the key: if your environment doesn't support your growth, change it. You don't owe loyalty to a space that is keeping you small. If your friends are pulling you down, find new friends. If your routine is leading nowhere, design a new one. If your habits are shaped by distractions, remove them. Your life will always reflect the quality of your environment. If you want better results, start by upgrading what surrounds you. Most people believe that success comes from massive action, from making huge, dramatic changes overnight. But the truth is, real transformation happens in the small shifts, the tiny adjustments you make every single day that compound over time into extraordinary results. Think about an airplane. If a pilot changes the course by just a few degrees, the plane will end up in an entirely different destination. The same principle applies to your life. A small change in your daily habits, in your mindset, in your actions, if maintained consistently, can completely transform where you end up in a year, 5 years, or a lifetime. The problem is, most people underestimate small shifts. They think, what's the point of reading 10 pages a day? Will saving a few dollars really matter? Can 10 minutes of exercise make a difference? The answer is yes, because success is built in the small, consistent choices that most people ignore. Look at your life right now. Everything you have, everything you don't have. It's a result of the small decisions you've been making over time. If you're in great shape, it wasn't one workout, it was the habit of working out. If you're financially stable, it wasn't one big decision, it was the daily practice of managing your money. Small shifts work in both directions. Just as good habits compound into success, bad habits compound into failure. One missed workout doesn't matter, but skipping the gym for months does. One unhealthy meal is nothing, but daily poor choices lead to long-term consequences. The key is to stop waiting for a massive breakthrough and start focusing on the small, daily improvements that lead to lasting change. If you want to be healthier, start by drinking more water, taking the stairs, moving your body just a little more each day. If you want to be more successful, develop the habit of reading, planning your day, and taking small, consistent steps toward your goals. Success is not about making one big leap. It's about making small, smart decisions over and over again. Because the truth is, when you master the small shifts, the big results take care of themselves. Who you become 5 years from now isn't determined by chance. It's determined by the choices you make today. Your future self is not some distant version of you that magically appears. It is being shaped right now, in this moment, by your habits, your mindset, and your daily actions. If you want a better future, don't wait for it, create it. Every small decision you make today is either building a stronger, wiser, more successful version of you, or keeping you stuck in the same place? If you want to be healthier, what are you eating today? If you want financial freedom, how are you managing your money today? If you want to grow, what are you learning today? Because here's the truth, the future is not waiting for you to be ready, it is arriving, moment by moment, shaped by the decisions you make right now.